Hello. Well, I guess today's the day that they finally released the files. And Trump swarmed us with a ton of other news from he wants to bomb Cuba, he wants to bomb Iran, he's arresting journalists, all to get people talking about something else, which it's all definitely worth talking about for sure. But the Epstein stuff is crazy. I guess I'll definitely get right into it. I have a couple really good links. Luckily, they have live links, like live updates on both NBC and CNN. So if anything is found by any journalists, but the big story is this particular article. And actually, before I get into that, I'll say that from what I've seen so far, one of the craziest things is there's an email where Epstein kind of confirms Katie Johnson's story. And yeah, a lot about Sasha's story checks out too, for sure. It's crazy. They talk about, I think Todd Blanche even says that there is evidence of murder or something, potentially in these documents or ones that are coming up. So that's pretty crazy. And if so, why was there no other investigations or charges with that? That seems a little bit crazy. But there was this story from Katie Johnson that talked about how Trump was bitten during the assault. And there was an email from Jeffrey Epstein where he was talking about that, apparently. But this one here, let me see here. I'll share my screen with this one file. This one file has Trump in it so much, and it does not look good. And they deleted it at first. It's up. This is the Justice Department .gov website right now. But I actually have the chat up here at the same time I'm reading stuff, which is awesome. Yeah, so I think so they deleted it just like they did last time, and then they put it back up immediately. And even people like Marjorie Taylor Greene were saying that we're pointing it out. Essentially, she said something like, judging from the Epstein file that was deleted, I guess we're going to war with Iran soon. I think there's also some indication here that somebody said that he was compromised by Mossad, Trump, and Alan Dershowitz, I think. Oh yeah, the redactions are so heavy. So heavy. Let's see. The story of Katie is also one in the spreadsheet of all the FBI tips, also about the biting. So it wasn't just Sasha, the one that got Donald. Yeah, that is quite interesting. Donald took a lot of abuse from those survivors. And what that tells me is that he was probably pretty abusive to, to get that. So let's look into this. I'm gonna try to catch up with the chat as I read, since I got them both on screen for the first time. I figured it out last night. I tried to do it last night. It didn't work because I didn't have the tab muted, and I was getting an echo. Oh yeah, and Elon Musk is in here. To Howard Lutnick is in here. Like, so many people in Trump's cabinet are in here, and it really makes you think, like, was that a prerequisite to be in his cabinet to be implicated in this? So everybody's got the same dirt, you know what I mean? That it's not an unreasonable thing to suggest. Um, there was also another email where Epstein said something like, "I love the torture video." Attached. Let me know if you need anything else. This is from redacted to redacted. Are you able to send me full NTOC reports? See, I think this is from the investigators. Okay, and this is the grid of all the complaints. Cool. Uh, these are basically tips or potential survivors here. Can that be changed from PDF format? I think I can look up a Twitter thread. Does it not look great on here? Yeah, yeah, it doesn't look great up here. Let me see if I can find it on a Twitter thread. That'd probably look better. Because I know that there were like 10 Twitter threads with that, and it'll probably look better as a image on there instead of a PDF. I just got to go through and look for the yellow, basically. Let's see. Yeah, and Howard Lutnick, I don't know how bad it is for him, but he's like caught up in lies for sure. All right, here it is. Yeah, this is still kind of even the images are still kind of tiny. So this is probably the best I can do. I could probably zoom in a little bit. That probably work, right? Cool, cool. Um let's see. Complaint summary reported on I this is the top one I think is the most significant. Um reported an unidentified female friend who was yeah, and that's when the biting happened. And this happened 35 years ago. The friend told Alexis that she was approximately 13, 14 years old when this occurred. And the friend allegedly bit Donald Trump. The friend was allegedly hit in the face after she laughed about biting Donald Trump. The friend said she was also abused by Epstein. Let's see. Spoke with caller who identified somebody as friend. Lead was sent to Washington office to conduct interview. 2 voicemails left, no response. Reported she was a friend who was a personal assistant to Epstein in Florida from 1986 until 1991 or 92. This friend shares names of some of the guests of Epstein's parties, including Bill Clinton and Donald Trump. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, I see, I see. Yeah, I think that they were probably smartened up to that this time about getting it, about allowing the redactions that easily. I could try it though, just for the hell of it. At age 16, while modeling, Culler attended 8 parties at Epstein's New York residence. On one occasion, Culler reported that she was assaulted by Epstein. On another occasion, 2 twin brothers, Alan and Orrin, lured Culler and her friend upstairs, but they escaped back downstairs. Culler stated that she was that Orrin assaulted her best friend, and a third brother, Tal, assaulted a 14-year-old girl named Redacted. Caller named other individuals involved in big parties with her other young girls and older Victoria's Secret models, including Bill Clinton and Donald Trump. Yeah, like this is like a little bit more graphic than I'm saying on YouTube because I'm like, not trying to get killed. Online complaint reported when she was a victim and witness to trafficking ring. I mean, I'm not leaving out like key details. I'm just leaving out the words. At the Trump golf course in Rancho Palos Verdes. There's a lot of Trump properties implicated in this. Yeah. Let's see. Complaint reported Ghislaine Maxwell as the madame and broker for the parties, clients of whom included Epstein, Robin Leach, and Donald Trump. I heard that the Robin Leach strangling the person was somehow being contested. or people are disputing that. Complaints reported participating in those parties and that some girls went missing, rumored to have been murdered and buried at the facility. Complainant reported being threatened by Trump's then head of security that if she ever talked about what went on there or who she saw, he would end up as fertilizer in the back nine holes like the other. Wow. That's the mobster shit I could totally see him saying. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Complaint claims that you have video of high profile parties, dealings with cartels, and having witnessed Robin Leach strangle a young girl to death at a party. Yeah, I mean, um, that's uh, you know, the thing is like when so many of these accusations are very similar coming from different places that have never met each other. But you know what I mean? Like, uh, it's pretty crazy. Let's see. Claims he was contacted by a female victim of Epstein's who wants to publish a book. Complainant provided background for himself, such as working with prominent figures such as Les Wexner and Epstein, being pardoned by a U.S. president, among several other pieces of information. Being pardoned by a US president. I wonder if this guy was like a January 6th or something. The victim reportedly knew about a criminal activity that occurred in multiple states and on airplanes. Maybe it wasn't Donald Trump that pardoned him, but you know. And told complainant that there were films of prominent men such as Epstein, Bill Clinton, and Donald Trump, and that Ghislaine Maxwell is in his videos as well. That's very interesting. I mean, not that I'm sure the list of people who have been pardoned are very small that have also contacted those people. And not this was not a victim that put forward this information. This was a friend of a victim. Let's see here. Oh yeah, yeah, I definitely got to do that. Let's see. Hold on a minute here. Complaint reported meeting Elisa Villeneuve. Yeah, there's been a lot of research we've done on her from what I remember. She was friends with them, right? Yeah, yeah, Ghislaine Lisa Villeneuve. She was one of the main recruiters at a hospital where they were roommates in the year 2000, who now goes by Ghislaine Lisa Villeneuve. Complainant was invited by Villeneuve to a party on Palm Beach Island, Florida, to a residence she believes to have believed to belong to Epstein. There, she met a model scout named Bobby Cox, whom Villeneuve allegedly referred to as a pimp. Complainant stated that Villeneuve spoke with a hostess at the residence. Complainant believed to be Ghislaine Maxwell. While at this party, complainant stated that they had all been invited by Donald Trump to a party at Mar-a-Lago. Yeah, this one we heard. I think this one I'm familiar with. This was recently. What was her name? Was it Molly something that we listened to? Uh, on the Yeah, it was recently. It just came out like 2 weeks ago. She, she put out her own testimony. Yeah, we watched it on stream, but this complaint was on there because she said since they weren't releasing it, she was going to. When the complainant was 14 years old, Ghislaine Maxwell allegedly approached her about modeling, international travel, and massages. This is the one we saw. Spoken with twice. First time she said she was a Pilates instructor, and when Epstein talked to one. Second time called the royal family was, let's see, was contacting about her image of Prince Prince Andrews and Giuffre. Claims she would send email to corroborate. New email received. Complainant made a podcast, her story about her encounter with Ghislaine Maxwell when she was 14 to 15 years old. So I think each one of these fields is a different person. Complainant reported his ex-girlfriends were victims of Epstein's and one was murdered while working as a limousine driver. Complainant recalled picking up Donald Trump in 1995 to take him to Dallas-Fort Worth Airport. During that ride, Complainant recalled some of the things Donald Trump spoke on his phone. Yeah, this is Danny Free or whatever I think his name is. David, I think it was, I know it was Faree was his last name. During that ride, complainant recalled some of the things that Trump spoke about on his cell phone were very concerning and described being a few seconds from pulling the limousine over on the median. Yeah. And within a few seconds of pulling him out of the car and hurting him due to some other things that he was saying, complainant noted Trump repeatedly stated the name Jeffrey while on his phone. One of the complainant's ex-girlfriends told complainant Trump assaulted her, as did Epstein. Caller is talking about crimes committed against her. She claims to be a prisoner. She references Lisa Marie Presley, the British royal family, President Trump, and Jeffrey Epstein. Called SDN hotline, not okay. Complainant reported her neighbor sought modeling gigs at the Trump modeling agency in NYC between the years of 1998 and 2000. Complainant reported neighbor allegedly went on cruises set up by a recruiter or head of the agency once. He is like in every single one of these. Caller provided information to reference prior civil case from 13 years ago that involved Trump and mentioned Epstein with a minor. Complainant followed up after a call with NYPD officer regarding her previous tip, reporting that she was forced to perform things when she was 13 years old and pregnant in 1984. Complainant also reported that there were high-profile individuals involved in her trafficking and the murder and disposal of her newborn daughter. Complainant reported Donald Trump participated regularly in paying him money to force her to perform acts with him and alleged Trump was present when her uncle murdered her. Yeah, I think this one was in the last one as well. That was the one that happened in Michigan, allegedly. Caller reported that in 1987, out drinking when she ended up at Trump Plaza. I think what happened is that this was heavily, I think that this might have been released before, but heavily redacted. And now a lot of this new stuff is unredacted for some reason, because you would expect them not to. Caller reported, I mean, and it does seem like they might have released this by accident, considering that, you know, yeah. Yeah. There is quite a bit of crazy stuff in here, though. And the Katie Johnson confirmation, I'm pretty sure was definitely new. But they are stalling for sure. Yeah, Dan, that was it, Dan Free. Yeah, it is stuff that they redacted the first time and just unredact. Yep. And I don't know if they intended to release this one because of the fact that they deleted it. Um let's see. I'm a kind of skim through this and see stuff that I don't recognize this one. 2004, 2005, Sir Ivan Wilzig hosted a party where Epstein, Sammy Sosa, and Donald Trump were in attendance. Patti LaBelle's PR agent stood at the door. At the party, caller met an individual who was approximately 8 to 13 years of age, who was brought from Oklahoma for a modeling job, but then sold to a man in France, probably Jean-Luc Brunel, I bet, or one of them contacts out there that he had. Several women were being auctioned, and a woman possibly known as Colette LNU was the madam. A couple years later, caller saw Colette at the Cheetah Club in New York, and she told one of the Santos friends that Jamie Foxx was interested in spending the night with her and that he could pay her a lot of money. Donald Trump, the president, had parties at Mar-a-Lago called Calendar Girls. This is definitely new. Jeffrey Epstein would bring the children in, and Trump would auction them off. He measured the children. Oh my God. He measured the children's parts by entering. Oh my God. What? And rated the children on tightness. Jeez, man, this is the guests of were older men and included Elon Musk, Don Jr., Trump, Ivanka Trump, and Eric Trump were there. Attorney Alan Dershowitz was also there with attorney Bob Shapiro. They were taken to rooms, assaulted by Trump, 13 years old. Ghislaine Maxwell was also present. When was this? I would really be curious to know when these tips were like received, each of them, because I'm sure it was over the course of many years. That's insane. I know. What the hell? Like, I did not realize it was going to go in that direction. That's insane. Was anything in the file? Let's look at the conversation between these agents here. Yes, this is a very important. The lawyers are in on this too, and they are perfect people to cover up for their crimes, aren't they? Yeah, I have heard that the lawyers are kind of like a limited hangout type situation. Thank you. Was there anything in the file re-follow up with the below individuals, 302s, etc.? 302s? Anybody know what that means? 302s, cop talk. See if anything comes up there. Okay. In police terminology, the number 302 often refers to a specific section of law that deals with mental health evaluations. Okay. So, oh, okay. So they're asking if all of them people have had mental health examination. Basically, that's some shit. See below, yellow highlighting is for the salacious piece. I removed one name, Anthony. I was wondering what the highlighting was. Anthony Sibeli, because the reporter made no specific allegations. Some of these individuals are reporting secondhand information. President Trump identified. Wait. Yeah. Somebody redacted reported an unidentified female friend who was who was assaulted by President Donald Trump approximately 35 years ago in New Jersey. The friend told Alexis that she was approximately 13 to 14 years old when this occurred. Okay, so this is the same thing over again. Yeah. Yeah, this is the same thing on repeat. I guess because it is a reply email. So that is the one that is quite intense. And I'm pretty sure that that is definitely something that was previously redacted. Let's take a look at some of the top headlines around this. See if they got these key findings like by the hour. So you can see like what's old and new. A lot of times the New York Times does this, but it's behind a paywall. Drafted unsigned indictment included details of alleged abuse of minors, a threat, and 3 co-conspirators. Are the co-conspirators redacted or not? Instead of bringing the 60 count indictment against the 4 people, federal prosecutors in 2007 reached a non-prosecution agreement with Epstein. who avoided federal charges and served 13 months in state prison. So there were 4 other people that they knew about that were involved with those crimes back in the 2007 case. In the 2020 review, the Justice Department found that former U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of Florida, Alex Acosta, had used poor judgment in the deal, but did not find that Acosta had engaged in professional misconduct. Wow. They were unnamed. Latest Epstein files include list of allegations against Trump. So these are actually being published this time. I remember last time the mainstream media would not touch the wildest things against Trump. They didn't even really go there. And I'm really curious if anybody's going to put together the fact that a lot of details in this corroborate the Katie Johnson story, because there was apparently an email from Epstein too that confirmed the other things that were in there. So that's pretty crazy. Let's see what we got here. I think this is the stuff we just went through, but I'm curious. I'm curious what they had. Let's watch this 1 minute thing. See if I could get it to play.
One of the Epstein documents released today is a list of allegations related to President Trump. Now, this list was compiled by the FBI last summer, and many of the allegations appear to come from unverified tips. No officials note that some of these tips are even coming from secondhand information received through the FBI's National Threat Operations Center, which takes tips through the phone and electronically. There are more than a dozen allegations in this document. Some of them were followed up on. One was referred to the FBI Washington office. Another was deemed to be not credible. But of course, President Trump has long denied wrongdoing related to Epstein. Now, this list also includes allegations against former President Bill Clinton, who has also denied any wrongdoing. But one of the biggest questions here is, why did the FBI compile this list? Of course, the Justice Department has been in a difficult spot releasing any information related to their boss when it comes to the Epstein investigation. Now, 2 different versions of this document have appeared on the Justice Department's website. We have asked why those were removed. At this point, it's back up there, but it could disappear again. When we asked the White House about this document.
So this is CNN confirming that the documents, these specific documents that included all this crazy shit about Trump, were deleted and then put back up again. So that's just sketchy as hell.
They pointed us to a statement that has been on the Justice Department's website. It says, quote, "The production may include fake or falsely submitted images, documents, or videos, as everything that's sent to the FBI by the public was included in this production." Now, they say some of the documents contain untrue and sensationalist claims against President Trump that were submitted to the FBI right before the 2020 election. But the fact that these allegations are now public will likely result in more questions for the Justice Department and the White House.
I like how they always have to like qualify themselves of like, nobody proven that he's done all this stuff yet. And it's like, yeah, we know that you're trying not to get sued, but like, you don't have to say that every 10 seconds. Draft indictment from 2000s. Yeah, we looked at that. New email shows Epstein telling Larry Summers he doesn't understand how dumb Trump is. Multiple emails released Friday between Jeffrey Epstein and Larry Summers, former U.S. Treasury Secretary and Howard University president, show the 2 men gossiping about President Donald Trump during his first presidential campaign. How guilty is Donald, Summers asked in May 2017 email, in which he went on to discuss the idea that Russia helped Trump win in 2016, which Summers deemed plausible but not certain. Trump had long denied any complicity in Russia in the election. Look at that. Epstein replied that your world does not understand how dumb he really is. In an earlier October 2016 email, Summers asked Epstein, "How plausible is the idea that, look at that typo? How did you, oh, wait, maybe that is what, knowing Epstein and Summers and all these people that send, like, yeah. How do you get an equal sign from an H? I don't know. Um, but yeah, how plausible is the idea that Trump is a real cocaine user? Epstein replied, zero. I'll believe that. In July 2017, Summers wrote to Epstein, I think your friend is mentally ill. Epstein responded that the person is not my friend, and I've told you that before. The drama between them is ridiculous. Yeah, I know. It is funny how easily they found Bill Gates stuff in here and are just totally ignoring the Trump stuff. Um I mean, yeah, I mean Bill Gates, but his situation was a little bit different, but still sketchy, but you know. Um let's see. While neither referenced Trump by name, they went on to discuss his foreign policy actions and whether, as Summers said, he was better than Hillary. Epstein defended his record, citing work with Israel and India. Defended Trump's record? An earlier release of documents showed that Epstein and Summers corresponded for years after Epstein's initial conviction. Summers did not immediately respond to comment. Yeah, he previously said he was deeply ashamed. Video shows the cell where Epstein passed. Is this a new video?
View from outside the cell.
And apparently what he did is he tied it on the bottom rung or something like that, and he only had, like, 2 feet, which is kinda wild, like, you have maybe it's a different bed as well, but well, no, I bet this was taken pretty closely after it. Interesting, yeah, I think that's the first one to come out. Yeah, video released today. Architects of law that required Epstein files release request unredacted copies. So yeah, apparently Todd Blanche, Trump attorney guy, he went up there and said that the members of Congress can request unredacted copies. I don't know how that is going to go. Let's see what else we got. We've reviewed more information from the newly. You can catch up here. Okay, here, hold on. I skipped a couple things. A diagram. Epstein hosted a former head of state, former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak. We knew this, but I think that this is probably new to be reported in a outlet like this. More on former Obama aide Kyle Rumler sent Epstein a draft public statement declining further consideration for the position of U.S. Attorney General. Bondi not involved. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche addressed the media this morning about the files. It's not clear why Attorney General Pam Bondi, the leader of the department, wasn't the one making the announcement. Then, minutes later, she posted on social media commenting on the arrest of former CNN anchor Don Lemon. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That was a distraction thing, I think, for sure, because that's going to be thrown out. It's definitely an intimidation thing as well. Mentions of Trump. Here's what we found out about Trump. Let's see what they got. FBI officials in August compiled a list of assault allegations related to Trump. There are more than a dozen allegations included, many of which appear to come from unverified tips. That's what CNN says. It's unclear why the list was created. The document was included in emails that were sent by officials in the FBI's New York field office on the Child Exploitation and Human Trafficking Task Force. Trump has long denied any wrongdoing. Dude, I'm telling you, if you like, they say that way too much. There's an FBI form that details a complaint for. I really think they have to say that in every article, or they'll get sued. There's an FBI form that details a complaint from. Okay, so this was the stuff that we saw, and it's pretty incredible that they're reporting on this last time because they didn't report on this kind of stuff last time. And it says this anonymous accuser previously launched lawsuits against him and then dropped them. So that is Katie Johnson that they're referring to. I don't know what you're talking about, Ghislaine Maxwell says in deposition. Video clips released today of Ghislaine Maxwell answering questions about her former boyfriend, Jeffrey Epstein, under oath in 2016. This is only 16 seconds, but let's see.
Did Jeffrey Epstein have a scheme to recruit underage girls for sexual massages?
Objective Forum Foundation.
If you know.
So I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's like very, very small. You know they have more video than that. Let me just make sure. The entire narrative is end time. So now there is absolutely no ambiguity. Yeah, I know. And there have been a lot of there are some like formerly MAGA people who I have seen on Twitter and stuff who are saying like, I'm done, I'm disappointed, this is horrible, I'm never voting again in my life and all this stuff. Howard Lutnick and Jeffrey Epstein corresponded through intermediaries several times in 2011 and 2012. Now, this is significant because Howard Lutnick has been interviewed about this, and he has opened his mouth way too much. Days after Trump, it was shortly after they announced that there was no blackmail. That was their official position. No other crimes to investigate. Howard Lutnick went on some interview and said, yeah, I walked into Epstein's house one time and he had some massage table and he started talking to me about the massage thing. And I got out of there and I never went back. I didn't want anything to do with it. And I know he was blackmailing people in there. And he just straight up, and then that was this big controversy, and then it never became anything because they just never answered for that contradiction in different members of the administration and what they were saying about the case. So Lutnick is now definitely caught up in a lie, and it's like, why are you lying about the situation? If you're friends with if you're friends with somebody shady for a while or your neighbors, I mean, he had a perfect excuse to be like, yeah, I was neighbors with the guy. We hung out a bit, that's all he had to say. But he had to make up this weird story about how Epstein was all creepy. And of course his wife was there. They all got to say that. And, it's just the documents reveal a deeper relationship between Lutnick and Epstein than previously had been known. Lutnick, the former chairman of Cantor Fitzgerald and current Commerce Secretary, was a one-time neighbor of Epstein in New York. But he said in an interview last year that after a 2005 encounter at Epstein's home, he grew uncomfortable and vowed he will never be in the room with that disgusting person ever again. Yeah, exactly. So I was never in the room with him socially, for business, or even philanthropically, he said in October interview. That guy was there. I wasn't going because he's gross. I'm glad they had the quotes there. The documents released Friday undercut the claim and reveal Lutnick sought to meet with or call Epstein several times since 2005, including after Epstein pleaded guilty to procuring a minor in 2008. Ac- Asked for comment, when asked for comment, a Commerce Department spokesperson said Secretary Lutnick had limited interactions with Mr. Epstein in the presence of his wife and has never been accused of wrongdoing. Oh man. Yeah, I don't blame you, Deathgrave. Asked for comment, a Commerce Department spokesperson said Secretary okay, yeah. A 2011 email to Epstein from Epstein's assistant said, "Howard Lutnick returned your call." This was 2011 then, when everybody knew what was up. Let's see. Another email to Epstein from his assistant reads, "Howard Lutnick will come see you at 5." That same year, the heading of an alarm message reads, "Drinks with Howard Lutnick." He says, he says, "So I was never in the room with him socially, for business, or philanthropy. That guy was there. I was not going because he is gross." Doesn't seem like that's the case. The next year, both Lutnick's wife and assistant communicated with an Epstein assistant to set up a visit and lunch at one of Epstein's Caribbean islands. Emails show. Ouch. I didn't even know that he was on the island when I put him on the thumbnail, but Elon was on the island too. Jeffrey Epstein understands you will be down in St. Thomas some over the holidays. Epstein's assistant wrote in a November 20th, 2012 email to Lutnick. Jeffrey requested I please pass along some phone numbers to you so the two of you can possibly get together. The next month, Lutnick's wife, Allison, said in an email that was forwarded to Epstein, "We're looking forward to visiting you," adding that the Lutnicks were a part of a large group that included another family. "We're heading towards you from St. Thomas," Allison Lutnick wrote. "Where should we anchor exactly?" Representatives for Epstein asked what type of boat the Lutnicks would be arriving on so they could properly coordinate. 180-foot, 88-foot yacht, Allison Lutnick responded. Like, yeah, that's insane. And they're caught up in the and I really think there is something to the fact that so many people in this administration are implicated in this, because that's how you keep that secret, is by making sure that almost everybody in your administration, I mean, maybe not Tulsi Gabbard, but RFK 100%. He said he said he said, "Not only was I friends with Epstein, but I hung out with Harvey Weinstein too, and also some other creep." So that's believable. Justice Department wrote letter to Congress, provides more specifics on what it didn't release. Okay. Okay, so the Justice Department outlined in a letter to Congress how it conducted its review of the files. Approximately 200,000 pages have been redacted or withheld based on various privileges, the letter signed by Attorney General Todd Blanche states, such as attorney-client privilege or deliberative process privilege. So he's using some random statutes to make sure that, um, you know, they're keeping out whatever they don't want us to see. Documents in a foreign language or that could not be uploaded for review due to technical issues were also not produced. Another thing that they did with pictures is this is such a shady move. They redacted any female, not just victims, and any female that was in there, and they also redacted anybody that was with her. So that, you know, that basically eliminates any potential co-conspirators. The letter said that Justice Department is still trying to obtain additional documents that could later be released, including grand jury materials from a federal criminal case out of Southern District of New York that charged corrections officers who worked at the correctional facility where Epstein allegedly didn't take himself out with falsifying records. Yeah, because they falsified the records that they were on watch at that time when they weren't. And a lot of people saying that they were like paid off. Within 15 days of Friday's release, the Justice Department will submit to Congress a formal report that includes a list of all government officials and politically exposed persons found in the Epstein files and a summary of all redactions as mandated by the law passed by Congress. That I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure if that's going to happen. The letter said more than 500 attorneys and reviewers across DOJ helped process the files as a first step. Then 40 specialized attorneys conducted a second review. In practice, virtually all the time and attention of department personnel who participated in the manual review and redactions efforts was devoted to maximizing the protection of victim identifying information. I think that is a loophole that they used. Like, okay, of course, redact the victims, but you don't redact everybody with the victims. What are you doing? Like, how blatantly? I mean, everything they do is a blatant scam. So they're like, yeah, that person that was killed on video was a domestic terrorist. She drove her car over the officer. A newly released email chain shows Jeffrey Epstein and someone who appears to have been Ghislaine Maxwell strategizing in 2011 about how to deal with new allegations from a woman who claimed that she had worked at Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort. So let's check out this email chain. See, I think this is a much better way of browsing this stuff than what we did last time. Last time, we like went through every single file individually, which, I think finding the stuff that the journalists do so we don't have to go through 20 pages of redacted stuff. Yeah, this is that. I mean, these are all stuff that was found in there. I thought you said not to involve Trump anyway. So now the die is case. The, the die is cast. You now have to get her unemployment record. It will show either she started work in 1999 or 2000 as she was full-time there, and I believe you cannot be a minor and work full-time anywhere. So she had to be at least 16 to be in full-time employment. Perhaps start that way. That alone would kill her allegation that she was 15. As I said, you can't work full-time anywhere at that age. Either that or she gave a fake ID to Mar-a-Lago, which is also possible. However, let's see if you get the info and please confirm the labor law. Nicholas, so this is a PI, I think, a private investigator, in a chain email with Epstein and Maxwell. Just checking up on chat. Nick, the girl in the new papers that has made all the trouble, said she worked at Mar-a-Lago when she was 15 in 98. I'm virtually positive it was a lie. It was when she was 17 in 2000. He name is redacted. Who would I go to verify? I don't know. How Donald would respond. These people, for being so rich, cannot even type. It's insane. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, and this is just them trying to discredit her, basically. Let's see what they found. Maxwell presented redacted to Trump, and they had a yeah, this was the one we had before. Here's a recap what we learned so far. FBI notes from witness interviews mentions Trump and Bannon. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like they link to the thing in each of these. Yeah, I know. It in one of them, they were doing like signs. What's this? After being advised of the identity of the interviewing agents and the nature of the interview, provided information. At the following interview, agents thanked Redacted for taking the time to follow up on the topics from a prior phone call and with the agents on 4/28/2020. So this was after his death. Expressed concerns with talking to agents because he did not want to possibly incriminate himself. Redacted was concerned with former contacts acquired from past business ventures in the marijuana business. Redacted was hesitant to further discuss Steve Bannon with agents. Believed Bannon to be friends with powerful people within the United States. Referenced Bannon's relationship with Epstein. Agents explained that the interview was voluntary and that he did not need to talk with agents. This is heavily redacted. Let's see. Underage victim told the FBI Epstein abused her after she confided in her about prior abuse. Yeah, this that one definitely happens frequently. Epstein's cellmate pleaded with him to not I don't believe that. Don't do it, Jeffrey. Don't do it. All right, so I got some of the other things that have been pointed out by people in here. In a case brought against, okay, let's see, just Barack Obama's White House counsel giving Jeffrey Epstein advice on how to answer questions about Donald Trump uh, abusing a girl at his house. Oh, this is okay. In a case brought against him by John Pottinger, who was Epstein's former office mate and partner on some finance deals. He took this case of survivors because he believed them because he knew Epstein personally. At least one of those cases he took accused Trump. John Pottinger, is this one of the lawyers that's still involved? Let's see if I could. Supposedly, a girl said that Donald assaulted her at my house when she was underage. She said she was a witness. In 1993, Pottinger story, 2 weeks ago. And in the middle of 1993 and Pottinger story, it's equal C2. Like, I don't know if he's doing a code because it says equal C2 in here multiple times. I don't know what he's trying to do. 2 weeks ago, Mangiver said that Pottinger wanted to meet him. I emailed him back, do not meet. You are not involved. Yesterday, trying to see that name, it's hard to see. McGiver, something like that. Pottinger worked his way into my office to tell equal C2 me that. Very annoyed. I called and got his telling me the above. There is, and then it's like equal div dir. Like what kind of HTML are they doing in here? Yeah, Melania definitely knew what was going on. Epstein introduced her to Trump, from what I understand. Um, Trump is likely to be asked questions soon about me. In an ideal world, what do you think he could say? I think this one, oh no, this is just him asking Kathy Rumler for advice. That is bizarre. Very strange. He found a bunch of stuff here. Another claim that a Jane Doe client was lured across state lines as a model by Epstein and Trump. This was in 2016. The public only found out about out that Epstein used a modeling agency as a front in 2018 with Miami Herald reporting. This was filed 2 years before that. Wow. So this is information implicating Trump and mentioning connections to this whole story that were not public at the time that the tip was given or that the complaint was made. Wow. That's significant. Let's see what it says. Tom Meager, cellular telephone number redacted, office address located in Princeton, New Jersey, home address located in redacted. Attorney to Jane Doe contacted the public access line unit. It's with the equal sign. Access unit to report the exploitation of a minor child of 13 years of age by Donald J. Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. Meager stated that his client, Jane Doe, was enticed to cross state lines to visit with Epstein and Trump. Both was assaulted by both men at special parties hosted by Epstein. Doe was told that this was to further her modeling career and something that she had to do. Prior to 2018, Trump was hardly ever mentioned in association with Epstein apart from overlapping professional circles. And Epstein's recruitment of girls in the prior, I mean, the Katie Johnson thing was his first. Trump was in New Jersey. Trump was at his Trump National Golf Club in Bedminster, New Jersey on July 4th, 2016. That day, he posted on social media from a club and later made remarks there as part of his campaign schedule. I mean, yeah. I mean, what was he there for the interview? I don't understand. That's kind of weird. Why that's significant. That was a commenter though. Oh, okay. Okay, that makes sense. Let's see. This person is redacted and they probably shouldn't be. So, Redacted has been on America's Next Top Model or Project Runway for a contest. This is 2012. I will take her for brunch on Saturday if Monsieur approves. Interesting girl that thinks she knows everything. I like those types. I liked her friend on the pictures from Patrick McMullen. But I guess she is your old friend. Also, my friend, redacted seems nice, Fusion Models Agency, but need to work more on her horrible Chanel look. Looks like all models are wearing Chanel these days, including even my favorite. Thank you so much. You did not get it for me 2 years ago? That's weird. Oh, okay. They're insulting the person's taste. But I'm creating a group of slighter, smarter than average, slightly smarter. It's very ironic where they're insulting the intelligence of models while not being able to string a sentence together. See you later today. Big kiss. Interesting. Epstein emails confirm what we wrote in December. Kathy Rumler was helping draft potential Epstein statements, dismissing claims that he got a sweetheart deal. Yeah, that was the thing that we were just looking at. Last year, Elon Musk said that Jeffrey Epstein tried to get him to go to his island, but he refused. New emails show that Musk actively asking Epstein, "What day night will be the wildest party on your island?" Oh my God, no way. Who from to Jeffrey Epstein, CC Leslie Golf. So this is Elon Musk. This is from Elon Musk. Actually, I could fly back early on the 3rd. We will be in St. Bart's. We should head out to your island on the 2nd. Let's see. Does it start at the bottom or the? Yeah, it starts at the bottom. Let's see. We will be in St. Bart's over the holidays. Is there a good time to visit? Remember, like a couple weeks ago, I was looking into this thing about St. Bart's. Let's see. From Jeffrey Epstein. He literally says, probably just Tallulah and me. What day night will be the wildest party on your island? What? That is what Elon Musk says in an email to Epstein on 2013. No way. That's insane. I mean, I'm not surprised, but and he's the one that started this. None of this would have happened without Elon, I don't think. Because yeah, they were being evasive and being weird about the binders that they gave to the influencers and stuff, right? But it seemed like they were going to be able to get away with pushing this to the side because Trump's base was just trusting whatever Trump would say. And then when Elon came out and said that Trump is in the files, that kind of put a crack in things and they started to doubt him. And then he was forced, his hand was forced in this direction, and now it ends up implicating Elon as well. And Elon's brother is in here too. But that is insane. And this confirms a lot of the things that people have been saying about St. Bart's too. So this was a good point of what I was saying about the number the number of people in Trump's inner circle. If you draw the number of names of 1 million Americans randomly out of a hat, the odds of one of them being mentioned in the Epstein files is 0.299%. But how many members of Trump's inner circle and admin appear in there? 37 so far. That's insane. Let's see the Lutnick one. Attached is resume of Lutnick nanny. I am trying to arrange a time via Peter for you to meet with her. This was what? 2013. Trump says he cut off Epstein in 2003, but in 2011, Epstein called Trump about Virginia Giuffre after asking his lawyer PI, who was recommended by Trump, if there are any other alternatives. Yeah, because this was around 2011 is significant because this is when Virginia Giuffre went public, I believe, for the first time. And of course, the Mar-a-Lago connection. And now people are piecing together that, like, Mar-a-Lago might have known, her father might have even known and been involved with both Mar-a-Lago and Jeffrey Epstein. Um, that's speculative at this point, but it seems plausible. Before I call Trump with regard to Virginia, are there any other alternatives? That's what Jeffrey Epstein said to William Riley. William Riley, Sasha Riley, the person who may be Sasha Riley's dad. It's disputed. Some people say it's not. Some people say it is. Because of the, um, I think it's I think it's quite possibly William Riley, especially because of the PI connection and the pilot connection. But this is, I didn't even look at who this was to. This William Riley. I wonder if anybody says this in the comments. No. What the fuck? This is crazy. Oh, I know. Like Sasha Riley? Yeah, or William Riley's Facebook. William is a sheriff, a pilot, a twisted individual as well. It's insane that and a lot of that stuff was proven. Like they tracked down his pilot's license and everything. This is insane. So Trump and Epstein definitely had a call about Virginia, probably panicking. Epstein asked Sergei Bakalov to help stop a Russian woman blackmailing a group of New York businessmen in 2015. Sergei Belyakov, yeah, I can't do Russian pronunciations too well, who was the Russian deputy economic minister. Wow. He is the same minister who gave lucrative government contracts to represent state-owned Russian companies to lawyer Natalia. Okay. You know the Russian lawyer from the Trump Tower meeting in 2016, which Trump claims is a hoax? How are you? I need a favor. There is a Russian girl from Moscow. She is attempting to blackmail a group of powerful businessmen in New York. Like Trump, it is bad for business for everyone involved. She arrived in New York Saturday of last week, staying at the Four Seasons on 57th Street. Suggestions? So this was right around the time that Trump was getting blackmailed by Russians, right? Or am I wrong? I haven't heard anything besides his adopted dad being in the files, but from what I've seen, yes, his identity is confirmed and he served in the military. Yeah, like, I assume there's a lot of local crime around Zorro. Yeah. William Riley is quite possibly the father of a victim who trafficked the victim as well, named Sasha Riley. We've done a lot of research on that, and I have more stuff that was shared in Discord earlier today. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get to it tonight, but maybe I could get to it tomorrow because there's a ton of emails that that we've got here. Emails show Epstein and co. trying to discredit Giuffre. This one was crazy. To Jeffrey Epstein from Ghislaine Maxwell. I thought you said not to involve Donald. Anyway, so now the die is cast. Yeah, this is that one. Now the die is cast. But that's crazy. I thought you said not to involve Donald. This is the one. Yeah, we saw that one. Well, maybe not. Instead of modeling, she was sold as a slave. Prince Andrew was an accessory to her death. Who was that? He called me wanting to give me a secure email address. It's redacted. Wendy, no problem. Everything is redacted about this one. An internal email in 2020 related to the Maxwell case looking into claims that, okay, so this is among investigators, like cops. Maxwell recruited a girl in 90s for modeling, sold her as a slave. Prince Andrew was an accessory to her death. The DOJ was looking into this credibly as of 2020. this was probably one of the things that Prince Andrew was wanted for questioning about. Yeah, I'll post all the links later in the chat or in the description for sure. Is everyone in Trump's orbit on this island? The front runner for Trump's pick for Fed chair, Kevin Warsh, came to Epstein's island for Christmas and brought a guest who had to be redacted, which is supposed to be for victims. Well, they said that they didn't only redact the victims, they also redacted other people too, which is probably to obscure who's a victim. Because they said they redacted every woman from it to make it easier. Yeah, a lot of people do talk, like the torture element is new. Like that just started coming out in some of these new victims, but they've all been corroborated with each other, and this was stuff that was hidden before. An internal email in 2020 related to the Maxwell case. Yeah, that was the one. Epstein email asking how Trump should handle a question about an assault that happened at Epstein's house. It shows Epstein helping with Trump's messaging in the 2016 election and reveals this claim came via a source with high credibility. Here's what people miss. From Epstein to Kathy Rumler, the former White House counsel, that was for Obama, after time at White House, joins firm and met with Epstein, including visiting him in Paris and the island. Epstein says Trump will be asked about him due to a claim from an underage girl who has a witness. The counsel representing the girl was John Pottinger, a lawyer who represented Epstein survivors. So he's coming up here a couple times. Pottinger used to share an office with Epstein. Knew him well. Oh, yeah, this is the thing that Jay Megan has been talking about recently. Pottinger used to share an office with Epstein. So think about this. One of the main lawyers that are representing the Epstein survivors used to share an office with Epstein and knew him well and worked on finance deals with him. He was convinced of the authenticity of the survivor stories because he knew Epstein. But still, it's well, no, yeah. I'm not gonna post it in the chat. I'll post it in the actual description. So it'll be there right away. Same with everyone. Come on into our Discord. Yeah, definitely. I'll have to post the link in a minute once I get through this next one. Epstein is asking Rumler for a messaging strategy. She created the line about knowing him professionally, and this gets used by his comms people. Combined with other emails, this shows that Epstein was coordinating with Trump as recently as the election. Yeah, and there was allegedly talks between Bannon and Epstein about getting Epstein a cabinet position. And that was one of the reasons why they wanted to rehabilitate his image. So yeah, let me toss this in here. This is a Discord where we're hanging out, and let me and going through news tips and stuff like that. It's a community I'm building. For now, it's I'm not gonna post the Discord everywhere. No, it's I want to post it in the chat every night as we're doing this, as I'm building the community. Eventually, I'm gonna like lock it, but everybody who gets in now will be in there forever. And I'll allow new people in, but I'll probably have it paywalled or something when the channel grows. But yeah, let's see. Pottinger did not take any outlandish cases, only ones he felt were valid. See, and that feels like gatekeeping in some sense. You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. You never know how many layers to this there is, because that's why that's another reason why there's a divide between some of these survivors is because some of them are not taken seriously by Pottinger and these other attorneys, um, even if they have like credible connections with Epstein and proof that they were there. Epstein being worried about this specific case and not others, plus helping Trump plan messaging for it, and it being Pottinger, this bumps this case to the top of the list in terms of most likely ones that need investigations. Trump is likely to Trump is likely to be asked questions soon about me. Supposedly, a girl said that Donald assaulted her at my house when she was underage. She said she has a witness. Yeah, this was the one with, Katie Rumler, and that's crazy that, they knew. This one was crazy. Richard Marcinko, founder of US Navy SEAL Team 6, held a trove of videos of Epstein and other US citizens with minors. So what's up here? This guy, some mega mega military guy. Yeah, like he was probably using it for he intending to use it for blackmail. This lead was generated to follow up on information that USC Richard Marcinko is in custody in Mexico regarding a trafficking ring investigated by Mexican authorities. This is purported to include video evidence held by Mexican law enforcement officials of Jeffrey Epstein engaging in acts with minors that they said the minors were reported as possible USCs. What's USCs in cop talk? Let me USC's cop talk. um USC what is USC? It doesn't say. If any of you know what USC means, let me know. For decades, Ben Father is currently being sued for intimidation, an original investor in Sean's company. Interesting. Oh, US citizen. Okay, thank you. Thank you. So that makes sense. Okay. So that is crazy. So this guy who was probably one of these crazy people that I'm not 100%, but you know that book, Fort Bragg Cartel, about like the Delta Force guys that are all like crazy cokeheads and in a bunch of crime. Um, it seems like this guy, like Navy SEAL Team 6, that's a Fort Bragg operation, I believe. Um, yeah, that's and so he was holding on to blackmail material. He was holding on to blackmail material of Jeffrey Epstein. So he had blackmail on the blackmail guy and other. This is crazy. This Richard Marcinko thing. What's going on here? Is anybody talking about this? Oh, okay. So this guy's already dead now. He directed abrasive leadership style. Does it say anything about his arrest? Like, it doesn't say anything about that. Let's look at because he's got to be. Let's look up Mexico. That's crazy. That's not in here. He died in 2001. This is 2019. I wonder if he was able to get out of charges and keep it under the radar because of his connections and who he was. That really could be it. The author received information while assigned to the Bureau hotline concerning the Jeffrey Epstein investigation that video evidence of Epstein engaged in acts with minors is in evidence in Mexico. Oh man. Yo, so Mexico has the blackmail material. No way. That is crazy. Um like I mean, Mexico, I feel like their government is trying to do okay things right now, and like I hope they don't get invaded, you know what I mean? Um so so hopefully they have some leverage against Trump on this, you know what I mean? Just for the sake of the world. That is a wild revelation. I can't this hadn't been reported anywhere, I don't think. That is nuts. And the whole chain of custody of this is batshit. Like, you got this SEAL Team 6 guy, has blackmail, and I just that is insane. Oh, let's see, there's more. Turner stated that he has some type of Mexican deputization and is working along with female former South African law enforcement official. So this guy has so that is correct. A video about what? What I miss? Um, yo. So he was involved with a child trafficking ring and got away with it, and he died in 2011 without being disgraced. It isn't even in any of the articles about when he died. Oh yeah, yeah, good call, zombie. Good call for sure. Because this is crazy. Like, especially because they let him get away with it. Turner has been insistent that Richard Marcinko, who is a former U.S. Navy SEAL top commander, is currently in custody in Mexico City. Turner states that Marcinko is being held on charges pertaining to a child trafficking ring, and Mexican law enforcement official, known only to the author as George, is in possession of a trove of video footage of Jeffrey Epstein and other United States citizens engaged in acts with minor children, some of whom are reported to be United States citizens as well. Maybe this is why he wants to invade Mexico, actually. That is nuts. Dude. Turner has remained in contact with the author on an infrequent basis and has yet to provide any evidence of his complaints. The right wingers are going to freak out about this, man. Like they're going to freak out about this. That this might be bad though, because they might like want to invade Mexico and take it because they're that stupid. Um, the author is requesting that legat Mexico City. Oh, that legal Mexico City attempt to verify the incarceration of Marcinko and any inquire with Mexican law enforcement officials of the video evidence. Turner cell phone. Yeah, this was just in this new. Yeah, this is another one, Robert Kraft. This guy was caught up in a he was caught up at those like massage parlors or something in Palm Beach, and him and Epstein emailed about it. Wow, man. And I mean, remember when the last ones came out? Things were trickled out that people were able to discover over weeks. So this probably is just the start of it. They dumped so many files on people. Casey Wasserman, the current chairman of the 2028 LA Olympics organizing committee, emails to Ghislaine Maxwell appear in the latest Epstein file. I want to see who appointed this person. Who appointed? Okay, so it was the Los Angeles mayor who appointed her. So it doesn't. It's not that crazy. Let's see. Where are you? I miss you. I will be in NYC for 4 days starting April 22nd. Can we book that massage now? That's not looking good. Who's Casey Wesserman? Let's see. This is Casey Wesserman. Founder and CEO of Wasserman Sports Marketing and Talent Agency. He is chairman of the 2028 LA Olympics Organizing Committee. Which mayor? That's a good question. Mayor Eric Garcetti. Let's see. Looking for other connections here. Political activities on Democratic Party, increasingly sought to integrate himself with the conservative right in the United States. Oh, he's doing the traditional I got allegations, so I'm a right winger now. Pivot. He co-chaired a fundraiser for Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign. December 2019, Papa John's co-founder John Shatner filed a lawsuit against Watner's. Oh, okay, that's not that. Oh, okay, that's when he recorded the Papa John's crash out. That's kind of funny, actually. But yeah, I wanted to kind of get a background on who this person was as I was reading their email. So this person is eagerly trying to set up a massage with Epstein. Let's see. Oh my God, this is so okay. He's writing to Maxwell, not Epstein. Let's see which one comes first. Title: Riri, never take me. Will you be in NYC while I'm there? All that rubbing. Are you sure you can take it? The thought, frankly, is leaving me a little breathless. This is from Maxwell. Okay. There are a few spots that are apparently drive a man wild. This is from Maxwell. That's crazy. I suppose I could practice them on you, and you could let me know if they work or not. Just for the record, the cigar concept currently has pride of place in my bedroom. Just in case you are curious, I am now in Brazil. Have you been here? Wow, dude. What the hell? Wow. What is this? Is from her again. Wait. Let me read them in order. 4/7, 4/28, and then 4/34. Okay, so it goes from the bottom up. From Gmax again. Max will be relieved. Oh, wait. What about Max? And then Max will be relieved. Steven Shapiro just called and is going to find out what is available in June to rent in the 3 different areas along the beach. I said I would look at all 3 and would make the decision based more on the house, that area probably. Do you have a view? I don't know anything about Malibu or LA for that matter. Anyway, regardless of that, Steven told me that the weather is normally lousy in June. Is that right? She's like, it seems like she has sent 3 emails in the matter of like 20 minutes to this dude. What what foggy enough so that you can float down what? What foggy enough so that you can float naked down the beach and no one can see you unless they are up close? She sent those 3 emails to him in the matter of 20 minutes, a half hour. 4:06 was the first one, and then it went to 4:34. So, okay, now this is him saying, "Thank you. I'll call Steven tomorrow and see what he has available, and then make a plan to come out and check out the local real estate. I'll let you know what he says, and then you can guide me. I really don't know nothing about the area. If there is a better bit, etc. Now I have just made you my LA tour guide. I am going to go to London from here and then go back to New York. Can I bring you anything from London? I know you probably do not have the same Kit Kat cheddar cheese or baked bean problem I do, but you never know. My friend who came to visit me always brings a Red Cross. This is what they call it, food package for me. Kisses." That was her. What the hell? Oh my god. The message that he sent to her after the naked thing, I didn't see it because it's so like it's like gray when the other ones are black. It says, "Among all my desires, that combination is pretty low on the list." Well, I'm just checking up on chat here. I am looking forward to seeing you. JE has asked me to find a house to rent for 2 weeks. I am sure I will have to take it for longer in Malibu or June. Who is the best real estate agent person to talk to? Let me know. JE says I should pick a week to go in LA and look. Thought you might like to know I'm now in Paris. Can I bring you back anything from here? She's like really, really she's like, what can I get you from the places I'm traveling? Oh yeah, there's no way that she's getting pardoned at this point. I mean, eh, I take that back because it's Trump. Like he's crazy. He could just on the way out, unless there's nothing that he can gain from her anymore. But she probably still has plenty of ammunition, I would bet. This person can't believe DT won in 2016, but they do remember when DT and Melania first met. From redacted to Jeffrey Epstein. I simply cannot believe this victory. No one called it. We all thought she'd win. You must be happy, though. I remember flying back with Donald on his plane. The first weekend I went to visit you in Florida was the weekend he met Melania, and he kept on coming out of the bedroom saying, "Wow, what a hot piece of ass." Oh my God. Nuts. Anyway, hope you're enjoying Saudi. So this is more confirmation here that that Jeffrey Epstein introduced Donald to Melania. And the reason why they redacted the person who it's from is because it would probably make it even more it's even more corroboration right there. Yeah, introduced. I'm definitely being euphemistic there for sure. Let's see. I think I looked at this one. Yeah, the model one. I don't know who this red, green, blue person is. Do you know, like, they seem to be somebody who knew. It says, I distinctly remember to chat on the phone with Howard Lutnick. Howard was one of the few people in a series of odd calls who not only knew I was kidnapped and being tortured once again, but he said that he didn't care. He also said he didn't care what Epstein did because they are friends. Let me see if I could see the thread here. Oh, okay, here it is. I have chosen to repost this from Lutnick because our phone conversation, which occurred before COVID, was focused around joining Trump's cabinet, of all things. Lutnick was chosen because of his willingness to ignore the Epstein scandal, because they arranged years in advance to not only have Epstein arrested, but to make sure that Epstein would die in a way that avoided murder investigations, either by pressuring him to do it himself or by staging it. Trump's entire cabinet. Oh, okay. There's a typo there. Trump's entire cabinet are his selected, implicit or explicit reasons to go along with burying the Epstein files, and any ties to the vast network of criminal organizations and intelligence networks surrounding Epstein's operations. This is kind of what I was suggesting earlier. Lutnick knew what was going to happen to his friend. Let's see. His appointment is the quid pro quo for not doing anything about it. The Bond villain explaining the plan trope is real. My kidnappers delighted in watching me feel hopeless to stop someone from being brutally harmed. Right in front of me, similarly, they enjoyed explaining what they planned to do, knowing law enforcement officers wouldn't listen to me because it sounds like an abandoned Tom Clancy plot. Let's be clear, Lutnick knew the plans to remove Epstein from the equation well in advance, and after initially protesting a little by asking, and why would I agree to do that? He agreed to further consideration to offer to join Trump's cabinet as the Commerce Secretary. Epstein's death was not by an opportunistic guard, but rather a carefully arranged event. At the end, Howard Lutnick reasoned his dilemma the same way so many do. Was he really going to fight to keep Epstein alive, even if it means covering up the whole thing? Isn't it better to go along with Epstein dying and joining Trump's cabinet and gaining power? Here is some more Lutnick information. Yeah, let's look at this quick interview with Lutnick because oh yeah, it is. Let's see. I wonder who this person is because they are followed by researchers I trust.
He opens the door and there's a massage table.
This is what Howard Lutnick said about his experience with Epstein, which is now proven to be a total lie.
He opens the door and there's a massage table in the middle of the room and candles all around and stuff. So I ask very insightful, cutting questions. I say to him, massage table in the middle of your house? How often you have a massage? And he says, every day. And then he gets weirdly close to me. And he says, and the right kind of massage. Now my wife is standing here. So she looks at me and
Dershowitz always brings up how his wife is in the equation when they're with Epstein as well.
Look at her and we say, I'm sorry, we have to go. And we left. And in the 6 or 8 steps it takes to get from his house to my house, my wife and I decided.
Yeah, I'm going to look at their old post and try to find out who they are.
That I will never be in the room with that disgusting person ever again. So I was never in the room with him socially, for business, or even philanthropy. If that guy was there, I wasn't going because he's gross. And so I look back at it as a gift.
Yes.
He gave me a gift
Yes.
of voice.
These people like always create these fictions when they lie like that. It's always crazy. So this is who you're saying it is? John Kuriku? Is an American whistleblower, author, journalist, and former intelligence officer. He was an intelligence analyst and operations officer for the CIA's Counterterrorism Center and a senior investigator for the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. He was also a consultant for ABC News. Wow. Oh, okay. The movie Argo was based on him, I guess. That's interesting. He went to prison just for mentioning the torture at Guantanamo Bay. Oh, wow. Oh, I remember this guy. Okay, yeah. In 2012, Kirko became the only CIA officer to be convicted for exposing CIA's enhanced interrogation program. I heard an interview with him sometime. I can't remember what podcast it was on. I can't remember. Interesting. So that's pretty credible. I'd say. You were in that film? That's wild. Well, that's definitely significant. Let's see what we got on. Is this from Lutnick? Lutnick is deeply rooted to the royal family and has multiple high-profile and celebrity connections. Lutnick claims to be a philanthropist, but is merely using his charities as a smokescreen for his illegal activity. Many of the individuals involved in Lutnick's charities have criminal breaches against them. Yeah, when he says held and tortured, yeah, I'm not sure. I think he might be he might have been quoting somebody there. I'll go back up and check. That is so cool that you were a background actor in that. That's super cool. I bet that experience in that space has shown you a lot. Let's see. The redacted believes he has been supporting documents which could link Lutnick to Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Maxwell and Sarah Ferguson, a royal family member, host events called La Dolce Vita parties, where high-profile celebrities and executives contribute large donations to attend. The donations are linked to causes involving children. Lutnick made huge donations to those events. Epstein also sold Lutnick a house for $10 through a trust fund, which was then sold for millions shortly after, prior to the money going overseas. Epstein sold Lutnick a house for $10. That's insane. Wow. Yeah, I know. I hate Twitter as well. It's been decent for this Epstein stuff though. And some of the ICE stuff. As much as I hate this place. Um, Stated he has multiple regulatory reports, documents he can provide to an agent to substantiate his claims. Would like to speak to an agent to better and more thoroughly outline to tie it all together. So this is a insane like this is property exchanging hands. In addition, Redacted believes it's suspicious Lutnick's contributed over $65 million to Haverford College in New York, although he cannot prove any illegal activity concerning this aspect. This is the paper that this is from. This is the actual file. This has some more details. Ponzi schemes, money laundering. Wow, look at this. Further investigation by Redacted linked Howard Lutnick. So Redacted is probably either a private investigator, a forensic accountant, or like a cop, like a cop investigator. Activities with J.P. Morgan, Russian hedge funds, and other senior executives in the financial business. Blank has documented proof showing money laundering Ponzi schemes by Lutnick via offshore shell companies, liquid funding, and real estate brokerage firms. Redacted is using a global Ponzi share scheme involving over 3,500 BGC employees who are forced to contribute 10% of their earnings into the scheme. Wow. Lutnick is deeply rooted to the royal. Yeah, this is the part that we saw. In addition, he believes it's suspicious Lutnick. Yeah. Sentinel and Guardian. Let's see. Yeah, that top part that they left out was super significant. I'm glad I clicked on this. And this also says CF received large fines and there are live cases still occurring in the United Kingdom. Wow. Let's see what else we got. So yeah, this I'm trying to figure out what this is. I distinctly remember a chat on the phone with Howard Lutnick. Lutnick was one of the few people and knew I was kidnapped and being tortured. Maybe he's talking about when he was arrested or something, right? Maybe that's what it is. I think he's saying he knew Howard Lutnick personally when he was going through his legal stuff. I think that's what it means. But then he's going on and talking about conversations that he had with Lutnick about Epstein. I think that's what it is. That makes sense, and that is certainly credible for sure. I think this was all the stuff. Yeah, all the yellow stuff. They apparently screwed up the release of the Epstein files so bad that they seemingly accidentally allowed the photos and text to be displayed, divulging the IDs of Epstein's employees and girlfriends. That's something to look at later. Let's see if where's that account I was just looking at? There it is. Creator and past owner of 4chan, Chris Poole, known as Moot, was in contact with Epstein. Possibly opened up the board poll after meeting him. What? Where's the let's see. Jeffrey Epstein's emails show him browsing and sharing links from 4chan, anonymous forums known for explicitly describing them as amazing animations. I wish I could so it's just basically these emails are talking about how they're going to meet. And it's around the same time that the 4chan board was created. Wow. What if There's somebody in the comments saying, isn't that the origin of Q? Could Epstein be Q? That would be hilarious if Jeffrey Epstein was QAnon and melted everybody's brains. That would be the most insane plot twist ever. Jeffrey Epstein got banned on Xbox Live and sent SFM 5 nights at Freddy porn straight from 4chan threads to associates. He was banned from Xbox Live for 4chan posting. Yeah, I saw an article about this. Hold on, let's take a look at this. Where is it? Forbes? Yeah. Oh, are you gonna pay me or what? Yeah. Jeffrey was permanently banned from Xbox Live because he was a registered offender. Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. I thought it was for stuff he was doing on Xbox Live. We got more Brett Ratner stuff or no? Okay, there's new images. See if we can get these on the DOJ page. It just sucks because they're so hard to browse. Court records, DOJ disclosures, data set 9, I think, starts with the new ones. See, and this is where it's just like Judge Nathan's opinion on the majority of Maxwell's pretrial motions is attached. Not really significant. Let's see. I'm just kind of going through random ones at this because I'm looking for the actually, let's check Gmail because I haven't checked Gmail in a while, and Gmail is usually the best place to browse the photos. So let's see if they've updated. Don't think so. Let's see. How can I arrange these in? No, I don't think so. Let's see what's up with Brett Ratner, though. It doesn't look like they're as incriminating as the one where he's like shirtless and hugging a shirtless Jean-Luc Brunel. Let's see. I simply can. Oh yeah, that's the one we were just looking at. And wow, what? No way. That is what I don't even know if I like. That does not look right. New York Post article right here. Andrew Martinbaum Windsor. Oh, they can't call him Prince Andrew anymore, so they're calling him Andrew. Whoa, dude. Ads. Andrew Martinbaum Windsor appears to be crouching over woman in creepy photos from DOJ's. Like, I don't know. That does not look right. There's problems with that. That's not okay. That's some disturbing shit right there. Jay-Z named in the recently released Epstein files, along with Pusha T, who was allegedly assigned as a handler. What? What is going on here? Let's see. The type is so small, and it's let's see if I can't even zoom because can I zoom? Nah, it's not even letting me. Approximately 1994, Blank revealed herself to be as a victim of abuse by Epstein, described the abuse occurred between parties, further identified as a friend of Redacted. In approximately 1996, resided with Redacted, an unknown man abducted Redacted from her home, when she later awoke in the presence of Harvey Weinstein and Sean Carter, Jay-Z. While Weinstein had assaulted her, believed she was in Epstein's mansion in Florida. This was 2019? Redacted estimated that she was abducted on 7 occasions, awaking each time in an opulent indoor setting. Let's see. Leon Black and William Barr. She recalled Leon Black and William Barr, current United States Attorney General, being present during some of the occasions of the abuse in approximately 2006. Yeah, I mean, I'm not definitely Hollywood and the music industry for sure. You got that Red Hot Chili Peppers guy out in the open. Believes she was drugged, clouding her memory, assigned as handlers, whom she described as persons who established friendships with the victims. Among her handlers, identified the artist Pusha T. In approximately 2007, Redacted attended a party following invitation from an unknown man who approached her as she walked down the street. Weinstein and Pusha T also attended the party and drugged her before engaging in assault. Claimed to have additional information of other persons involved in the enterprise of trafficking related to racketeering conducted in support of the trafficking. Further believed that she was under surveillance and stalked at the direction of the people involved in the abuse. Confirmed she was not diagnosed with any mental illness, refused to provide her physical address, advising that she maintain no permanent address, rather moved between staying at different hotels. Yeah, Bill Barr, the people that are named in here. I've never seen Promoter Wars, no. Rep Garcia wrote a letter today demanding unredacted files from the DOJ. Yep. Yeah, I do think that Sasha accused Barr, so this is more corroboration there for sure. Male Epstein victim was allegedly assaulted by President Bush and witnessed a baby being dismembered. So these are emails between investigators again, it looks like. I'd like to add a few other points disclosed by the purported victim. While on his yacht, he witnessed African-American males with white blonde females, all of whom were bleeding. He was a victim of a type of ritualistic sacrifice in which his feet were cut off with a shmitar. I don't know how to pronounce that. I always see that like in the role-playing games when you pick up that kind of sword. I don't know how to pronounce it though. But left no scarring. On the yacht, he witnessed babies being dismembered. This is and graphic details of that, and then George Bush. This Victim disclosed he was escorted to the FBI building by Michael Moore, who was the creator of True to Pundit, described by multiple online sources as conspiracy-driven news website that attempts to paint the FBI in a bad light. Oh, well, like, how could you ever paint the FBI in a bad light? Moore has a criminal record as a result of the FBI investigation. Well, that's pretty interesting that he has a actual on the record. Let me know if you want to discuss the former FBI agent that called this into the head office. Thanks. Wow. On Tuesday, August 27th, 2019, myself and SA redacted conducted an interview of the purported victim of Jeffrey Epstein as per a referral by former FBI. Okay, I guess that's a cop abbreviation. And journalist Michael Moore, not the filmmaker. Okay, so it's not Michael Moore of Bowling for Columbine fame. Oh yeah, One Nation Under Blackmail. Yeah, Whitney Webb. She has incredible research on this for sure. Okay, male victim identified, arrived at C20 office, stated that he was unemployed and resides with his mother and her. Okay, stated he has ingested hallucinogenic mushrooms as well as other illicit substances in the past and currently smokes marijuana. Okay, so that's irrelevant because they ask you that kind of stuff at a lot of different places. Like, have you ever in your life taken psychedelics? And they think that that's significant. Reported being assaulted by his great uncle since the age of 5, and that is the common thread with a lot of these too. Is a lot of people have faced abuse from their family members, and then they're somehow introduced to Epstein seemingly in a coordinated way. You know, this is both Virginia, Sasha, many others. It seems like they were almost from birth, groomed for that. Offered no supporting or corroborating evidence or witnesses that could be contacted. Appeared to me emotionally unbalanced and not intoxicated. At this time, not recommended that any additional investigation sources be expanded concerning this claim. So yeah, of course they're going to be emotionally unbalanced if they're a victim of abuse. Like these people. Oh, this might be Sasha. This might be Sasha, actually. No, because it's Clinton. He said he didn't say nothing about Clinton. So this is a different person. But this is another male victim then, which is even more significant, I'd say, than if it was Sasha, because then that's just further corroboration for Sasha. DOJ's Epstein release confirms a power of attorney existed and banks relied on it, but the power of attorney isn't public. They showed we had permission. Huh. Oh yeah, this is another one. Bill Gates, Epstein claimed that Bill Gates caught an STD from trafficked Russian girls, then discussed secretly medicating Melinda to cover it up. This is probably why they got divorced. And she said that Epstein was a potential reason for the divorce. A spokesman for Bill Gates responded, "The only thing that these documents demonstrate is Epstein's frustration that he did not have an ongoing relationship with Gates and the lengths that he would go to entrap and defame." What? Recent Epstein files reveal an unnamed sheik allegedly giving his daughter to Donald Trump. Wow. Muster, whose father did business with Epstein, let's say, to bring beautiful female models over to her. Ghislaine obtained the names of the models and asked Elaine why she would want girls for Epstein. Ghislaine responded, yeah, so she didn't have to deal with him essentially. Would go to Epstein's Island, Little St. Jeffrey's, a lot with her ex-boyfriend, Joe, last name not obtained, who was good friends with Epstein. Knew Epstein before Joe. Epstein and Ghislaine would go like a normal couple with Redacted and Joe while at the island. Sarah Ferguson would come to the island. Let's see this. Saw Epstein and Donald Trump together a lot, including at the movies. Trump was always trying to impress Epstein. Where there was an incident after 9/11/2001. Oh, okay. That's after September 11th then. Epstein, Trump, Ghislaine, Joe, and Redacted were going to Palm Beach, Florida for the weekend. Redacted was waiting on the plane for others, reading magazines, overhearing up Trump and Epstein's conversations. Overheard Trump talking about how he just came from visiting a country, possibly Israel. Does that say Israel? Yeah. Possibly Israel, where they have sheiks. Wait. Why is it they don't have sheiks in Israel, right? Complaining that the sheik gave his virgin daughter to him. Epstein responded, "Oh, I love when that happens. They're so different, the young ones." Epstein and Trump discussed how the younger women have finer hair when arriving at Epstein's house. He went to hug Redacted, and she left before Joe was able to arrive because she was disturbed from the conversation she overheard. Wow. Let's see. In the article, Sean talks about how Kenny has kept him out of trouble over the years, and we know there are tons of lawsuits that came out with that whole thing. I keep spanning him a wolf. Yeah, I think Epstein definitely had something to do with the Bill and Linda Gates Foundation. Yeah, the C20 office might be the C equals 2. That makes sense. Yeah, no, it's definitely not. Yeah, Sasha. It's another person though. Karen Friedman, KFA, is marked moisture. Pam Bondi is looking out for number 1 for sure. See if there's anything else in here. Recruiter Carolyn Doherty, approximately in her 50s at Epstein's house. Epstein asked, "Do you see the..." Oh, wow. That's... Yeah, I mean, this is definitely talking about a deeper connection with... The DOJ released 32 different documents in the Epstein files that mention GameStop. Wow. Yeah, this is when he's saying, "What's the wildest party?" Where is there was a pretty crazy Israel thing where, let's see. Vivian Wilson speaks on NFL Craft. That was the Marcinko guy. This FBI report citing a confidential human source released in the final batch of the Epstein files. Trump has been compromised by Israel. It says the same thing about Alan Dershowitz here. Let's look at the actual file because I probably get it a little bit bigger. Yeah, here we go. What do you do when Kash Patel and you finally see it all gangster? Yeah, I know. They probably really believed in Trump when they all got in, especially Dan Bongino, and then they're like, then they have to cover for him because he's like a total creep. Howard Law professor Alan Dershowitz, CHS, learned that Dershowitz influenced many students from wealthy families. For example, Josh Kirshner and Jared Kirshner were both his students. Dershowitz told CHS that if he were young, he would be holding a stun gun as an Israeli intelligence Mossad agent. CHS, so that's the confidential human source, believed Dershowitz was co-opted by Mossad and subscribed to their mission. CHS still continues to communicate occasionally with Dershowitz. I think the same thing said about Trump. CHS shared phone calls between Dershowitz and Epstein during which she took notes. After these calls, Mossad would then call up Dershowitz to debrief. Epstein was close to former Prime Minister of Israel Ehud Barak and trained as a spy under him. Barak believed Netanyahu was a criminal. Saudi Arabia, Israel, and the UAE are allied against Qatar, Turkey, Iran, and Syria. One of CHS's redacteds, who presumably worked redacted, asked CHS a lot of questions about Epstein. CHS became convinced that Epstein was a co-opted Mossad agent. I think that Epstein worked in partnership on an equal level with Mossad. That and the CIA and potentially the KGB. Yeah, Bongino couldn't take it. It was kind of funny watching his crash out. Just because that guy was such an asshole. Let's see where the other mention is. This the Trump? No. Isn't that what that post said? Oh, Trump has been compromised. That's the thing I should look for. Trump has been. Okay, let's see what this is. Harry. Harry bought his Beverly Hills home from Trump. Let me see who Harry is real quick. Harry Tanassadibingo has been involved, has developed Trump Hotel. That's quite a name. Let's see who this person is. It's spelled wrong in the thing. So he's an Indonesian businessman and former chairperson for the United Indonesian Party. I'm thinking this guy might be a fascist, perhaps. I gotta see what it all depends on what era of Indonesia politics he's from. Controversy. He was barred from leaving the country after allegedly sending a series of threatening text messages to a deputy general for special crimes who was investigating a tax restitution. So, well, I just wanted to get a handle on who we were talking about here. So, let's see. I think this is the one, right? Yep. So let's see. This Harry person has been involved, has developed Trump's hotels and is a billionaire. The way this is written is very choppy. That's why I'm reading it like that. Harry speak Indonesian. Harry brought his Beverly Hills home from Trump at an inflated price. They do this a lot, this buying and selling the houses at very low prices with these foreign business leaders and politicians. There's something definitely weird with that. So was Harry's house when Harry Trump that he was going to fuck Amazon over their military contracts. CHS advised that this was a real collusion story. Trump has been compromised by Israel, and Kirshner is the business brains behind the organization and his presidency. Igor Karbatov brokered the sale of a Beverly Hills mansion Trump acquired for $800,000, less than the market value. CHS referenced the attached article that summarized the matter. A small-time scam artist gave Trump a mansion for $0. Why? Ross Delshin, a Washington, D.C. attorney and consultant on financial crimes to the International Monetary Fund, said that the deal included many facets that don't add up, and that the deal warrants further scrutiny, and investigators should follow up on the numerous oddities and red flags that this series of transactions raises. So there is so much in here. Wow. So that's pretty nuts. Let's pop on back over. They got a live update here on... No, it doesn't look like it, actually. Let me check the NBC live updates, see if there's anything new on there real quick. Let's see. Highlights from June 30th. What's in the files? No client list. Past deadline. What's the newest update here? 7. See if we got anything else. Very weird. Commerce Secretary Lutnick planned trip to Epstein's Island. Yeah, we knew that. Andrew went to intimate dinner with Epstein after his prison release, files suggest. Let's see if we could go back here, go through some random ones before we clock out for the night, because it is getting kind of late. There is no, like, they put this out without search for, like, intentionally. Because so much of this is just like totally like banal conversations between investigators, just talking about logistics and stuff like that. Let's see. Let's do another search on here and see if anything. I'm going to try Twitter and Blue Sky, see if anybody else dug anything up, because Jeffrey Epstein appears to bring 3 girls to visit Elon Musk at SpaceX in 2013. Mary Beth was Elon Musk's personal assistant at the time. See if Go to the latest. Yeah, the Jay-Z thing is pretty crazy. What is this? Let's take a look at it here. Confidential attorneys only. So sorry, Jeffrey. These things happen when your body had never been given time to properly heal. So it came out in the toilet and I didn't know what to do. What? This is a baby. I am not your personal incubator. You have made me numb. I hate you for this. Where is the baby? Where is Ghislaine? What? And this is like a... Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of murder accusations in here and different kinds, you know what I mean? Like, and they were probably taking babies from people, probably for, you know, to be raised in this trafficking thing. Wow. Yeah, that picture is insane. From the Epstein files, Jeffrey Epstein sends Noam Chomsky a crackhead email. Is language acquisition the same as ability to walk? A cognitive analogy to physical development? In a predator-prey system, all biology, adverse to socialism fundamentals, does language enable an ability to install in another mobject, not object, mobject, mental object in parentheses? This is a crackhead email. And discern the same that might exist in others. What does it mean to understand something? Is language necessary for it? How does it relate to pleasure and pain? I want to fund some seminars on power, types, financial, physical, military, etc. What are their similarities, purpose, to strive for power? Is it the same for evolution, etc.? Bro, what is this? What is this? This is sent to Chomsky. His language acquisite, it's like he is on acid or something. Chomsky was red pilling Epstein. Unbelievable, man. That's outrageous. Let's see what we got here. Okay, yeah, we read that one. This was where your wildest party is gonna be? Yeah, yeah. Well, let's give Blue Sky a try. See if anybody's got anything. Oh, I forgot to share the link over there. Damn it. Search. See, this is why, like, I like Blue Sky, but this is why I say you gotta get the news on Twitter, because it's mostly memes. Sadly. That's why I gotta post my video link there, which I forgot to do, because I was rushing to get on here. Good morning, Cash. I hope you're having a good sleep. Please, can you investigate Rupert and his sons? I don't know what this is. Ah, that's probably why their file size limits are problematic. Well, yeah, I think I might cut it there. It's been like 2.5 hours tonight. As much as I would like to stay on, I could stay on and chat for a couple more minutes if y'all got any ideas or things you want to look down, but I would like to chill for a little bit. It is actually my birthday tonight. This has been a weird one. Oh yeah, thank you. Please subscribe if you can. I'm starting this new channel. I've been a journalist and independent researcher for like 16 years. I've written many books. I used to work for a lot of different independent media websites like Anti-Media, Free Thought Project back in the day, before they were kind of like wiped off for anti-war and police brutality content around 2008. They were like banned on social media and stuff, and I gave up for a while, and then things got crazy in 2020. Thank you, y'all. I appreciate it. It was very cool of you. Yeah, I turned 40 today, incredibly. It's crazy. Time goes fast. Yeah, I know, exactly. I mean, I really stopped I stopped making a big deal about it a long time ago though. Like I used to have big parties and stuff, but I appreciate that. Yeah, I try to stay young at heart, you know what I mean? Yeah. Well, thank y'all. It's been real. I really appreciate Ellie the Panicked Writer on Substack. Cool, I'll look you up. But yeah, I'm switching to video now because I think I'm still writing. I still have stuff coming out in that regard, but I've been having a lot of fun with video editing, so you know, I'm going to be doing some long form stuff. I have one long form video out called "The Cold War is World War III," and it breaks down how that time after World War II was actually about the U.S. colonizing the world, and they didn't really want to make big deal about it, so they called it all of these separate conflicts. Um, yeah. This stream will be posted later. You can find it on my page for sure. It'll be up. Oh, thank you so much, Jazz That's nice. Thank you so much. Very kind of you. Oh yeah, I saw that. I went through that on stream. That story. That and attempted debunking. I didn't think that it was. Because even she said like it's still possible, but she personally doubted it. But I was like, nah. I mean, it's too soon to call it like that. I was definitely believing him. Um, but yeah, I think I think that was it. Yeah, I appreciate y'all. It's been really great kind of rebuilding the community and stuff, and I'll definitely be talking a lot more about that and about my journey and stuff uh through different videos. But yeah, and then I have another video coming up about called "The CIA Has Sold Drugs Since It Was Founded" or something like that, and it's all about the history of the CIA selling drugs from the French Connection to Iran Contra and the Afghanistan heroin trade and all that stuff. And yeah, I do have a book, a couple of them, but this is the good one, Paper Squares. And I mean, they're all good, but this one is the best one, in my opinion, because it's special to me because I wrote it when I was in the hospital with cancer about my craziest times when I was throwing raves in my early and mid 20s. So yeah, Paper Square and Purple Stars, my life as a rave outlaw. What? The movie Butterfly Effect is also about this whole Epstein stuff? That's crazy. But yeah, please subscribe if you enjoyed the stream. I'll probably be back on tomorrow going through this stuff again because there's going to be a lot of it, I'm sure, that comes out tomorrow. So we'll dig through it together. All right. Peace, y'all. Thanks for hanging with me.